Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another design team layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file shop. And this is going to be another Halloween layout, a 12 by 12. I'm going to be scrapping this photo of my son. This is him in his little costume. He was Bob the Builder, of course. Had to have his high-vis vest on. And I'm going to be making this one as a companion page for the first one I made using a Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file for Halloween. That was the jack-o'-lantern cut file. And I'm going to use a sketch for this one. So this month Virginia is sponsoring the Stick It Down Sketch Challenge blog, giving us a few sketches to use. So I am using the left half of that double page spread sketch. So I'm just going to do a quick, not really a tutorial, but I'm just going to show you what I did in Silhouette. I have the old version, but this is how I altered this cut file, which is the adorable graveyard cut file. And as you can see from the sketch, there is not a lot of places to put a cut file. So what I'm going to do is I am going to chop this one up and use it as embellishments. So I just traced a cut file, and unfortunately the software I used to film my screen for this one doesn't actually show you the menus, like when I right click and whatnot. But basically what I've done here is just right clicked and chosen release compound path, and then I'm going to go through and alter this cut file a little bit. So the bats I've just separated and I have remade those a compound path, and now I'm going in with my knife tool and I'm just going to cut apart these bits of the cut file. And I have it set to cut solid, so once the knife cuts, you can see that it kind of leaves it so that there's not an empty space, so it will cut out a solid shape. I hope that makes sense. So now I'm just deleting these bits that I don't want. I'm trying to isolate the ghost. So I'm going to speed this up pretty quickly in a minute, but I'm just taking my point editing tool, and I'm just going to adjust those points until they look a little bit neater. So there you go. You can just click and drag them and adjust them as you need to. Virginia has some really good Silhouette tutorials if you want to learn how to do this properly, but I just wanted to show you what I did with this cut file. So now I'm speeding through really quickly because you don't want to see me do this in real time. It's a little bit tedious, but once I've done that, I'm just going to move all those apart, and there we go. I have my ghost, move him, make him a compound path, and he's one piece again. So what else do? I cut out the little tombstone. I liked that one. I thought about the coffin, but I just couldn't be bothered, to be honest, to do them all. So I have the tombstone, one ghost, and the two bats. And what I'm going to do is just duplicate the bats. Some of them I'm going to cut the outline, and some of them I'm just going to cut, does that make sense? There, the solid piece, and then some of them I'm going to cut the little outline. And for the ghost, I took away the outer portion or the inside portion because I wanted just a solid ghost. There we go. And I'm going to do a couple of different sizes, and then I'm just going to flip or mirror one of them. There we go. So that I have a couple of sizes. There we go. So I've cut the ghosts out on white, and I cut the other things out on black. And there we go. I have a bunch of embellishments. Easy peasy. Okay, so now I'm taking my foundation cardstock. I had white, but I realized my papers have a lot of cream in them, and they're, the colors just matched the cream cardstock better. Plus my ghosts are on pure white, so that's going to help them stand out a bit as well. Trim down my photo. I still leave it pretty big. It's a 4 by 6 at the moment. I'm just going to trim off a little bit from either side. I don't particularly measure my photos. Just cut them until I'm happy. There we go, and I'm going to start to mat it on. These are my offcuts, as you can see. There we go. So waste not, want not. I really struggle to throw away paper scraps. I am a big proponent of using up scraps, even though I have so much paper. I hate to waste. So I'm just going to do a thin layer of this black. And I am piecing this together and just trimming it flush, and you can't even tell that it wasn't a solid piece. There we go. So I am just playing around with the sketch now. So I have my phone by my workspace at the moment. That you can't see it; it's just out of frame. But I am following the sketch pretty closely, I would say. I'm not using the tags that are pictured in the sketch. I am just cutting rectangles of pattern paper. So they're going in the same place and they're about the same size as the tags in the sketch, but I'm not using actual tags. I did think about cutting them into tags. I just really couldn't be bothered, to be honest. I was trying to make this a really quick and simple layout. I think that is the benefit of using a sketch sometimes, that it can really help you speed along and get through. And at the moment I am super snowed under with exams and final assessments and whatnot, so I'm trying to be as economical with my time as I possibly can. So I have a bunch of the pattern papers there. They're all ones that are used on the opposite page, and I am just distressing all the edges, and I'm just going to lay them out as per the sketch, just like that. And now the sketch does have a couple of strips at the top and the bottom of the page. I am going to use torn edges because that's what is on my my other page that I'm making this page to go with, and I just prefer a torn edge. I'm not necessarily a big fan of blocky linear shapes, and I already have those rectangles on there, which I've softened up by tearing them. But I just think, especially for a Halloween layout, you kind of want it to look grungy and, yeah, kind of messy. So I like that torn edge. I love this striped paper. I never would have thought it was something that I would go for, but I'm just loving it. I use quite a bit of it on the other page that I'm matching to, and I am going to use, I've used some in my rectangles, and I'm going to put just another bit up the top here just to fill in that little space where I tore the paper a little bit crooked. So I'm just popping down some wet glue, and I am taking that, I'm sort of keeping it back from the torn edge a bit because I want to go in, yeah, like that with my fingers, and just sort of ruffle that up a little bit further, make it nice and ruffly and dimensional. Just making sure I have this placed right. Go. And most of these papers, they're just all random papers, honestly, that I pulled from different collections and different manufacturers. They're just sort of my Halloween kit, I guess, for this year. Yeah, I don't have many sort of Halloween dedicated scrapbooking items. So yeah, there's some Kaisercraft, there's some Rosie Studio, there's some Doodlebug designs. And yeah, I couldn't even tell you where the other ones are from. That might be it, actually. That purple paper you saw, I actually, that's 2 torn pieces I glued together because I didn't have a piece big enough to go there. And you can't really tell by the time I'm finished. Okay, I'm just going to back this little tombstone on a bit of the orange. Just want to bring that sort of bright orange across the page a little bit more. Just putting a little bit of glue all around the edge of my cut file, and then fussy cutting the excess off with my teeny tiny scissors. There you go. And now I'm going to start to build up my little embellishment clusters. I had a lot of fun with this layout. I love Halloween layouts anyway, but yeah, it was really fun playing with these little bits and pieces. So you can see I've got my phone there now, so I have the sketch up on there to make sure that I'm following it pretty closely. I know, I mean, there's no rules saying you have to do it exactly the same, but yeah, I want it to somewhat resemble the sketch. So I'm just taking this little banner from that sticker sheet to help disguise that tear, and I think it helped bring that embellishment cluster over towards my photo, like link them up. And then I found this one as well. This one's cute, so I thought I'll chuck another one in. That sticker sheet is from Doodlebug Designs. I think it's from the Pumpkin Party collection. I could be wrong. I just got it from Scrap Boutique not long ago. It was on sale, so if you're looking for it, go have a look because I had it in the clearance section along with quite a few other cute little Halloween bits and pieces. So, right, what I'm doing here, I feel like I kind of have to explain this. I am popping up my embellishments a little bit on just scrap cardstock. I'm not using foam because I'm just being really mindful lately that my albums are getting really fat, and I'm trying to make layouts here and there that aren't super bulky, but I still like dimension, so I'm just using a couple of layers of cardstock rather than foam, so it still gives a little bit of dimension, but it's not the same thickness as foam, so little bits and pieces here really make a difference. Okay, the sketch definitely has some pretty decent size black splatters. So I'm taking just black acrylic paint, watered down, and I did some splatters. I really struggle with making big fat splatters. I'm no good at it whatsoever. So I'm doing some fake ones here, and then I am trying to make my brush do some big splotches. There we go, there's one. But yeah, I didn't have my paint watered down enough, or I think maybe my brush is a little bit too small. I'm really not sure. But I did struggle a bit here, so I sped this up quite a bit so you don't have to sit there watch me spend 3 hours trying to do this, but I get there in the end. There we go, and I just put in some teeny tiny black ones as well because why not. Okay, so on the sketch the title goes up on this this card here, so I'm going to put it there, and my title will be Costumed Cutie. I totally stole that off Pinterest. I'm not the best when it comes to thinking up titles. So those chipboard alphas, the black ones that spell like cutie, they were from Kmart from ages and ages ago, and those stickers are from Kaisercraft. And I'm coming in with some more of those Doodlebug stickers now to embellish. I found that little owl. It's kind of funny. I posted on Instagram that my daughter had been into the sticker sheet when I stupidly left it on the desk, and yeah, she pulled that one off, and I looked everywhere for him and I couldn't find him. And yeah, about a week later I found him, so I put him straight on this layout because he was, you know, a bit grubby on the back where all the adhesive was. So yeah, I'm just putting him on the layout so I get him safe and, you know, out of the way. Oh, you may not have noticed, I did back my my ghost faces with some black cardstock. Just the eye and mouth holes weren't sticking out. They weren't standing out enough for me, so that really helped. Okay, just going in with stickers and bits and pieces here. I am starting to glue things down now. I'm pretty happy with how things are. So yeah, I'm committing. I love those little spiders. I put quite a few on this layout actually. So there's 3 at the moment. I'm going to come in with more. And now these are some of the enamel sprinkles from Doodlebug. They're little eyeballs. Gosh, I love them. I put heaps on this layout. They're just so cute. I really kind of go to town with them. I love their little enamel sprinkles. They're all adorable. Yeah, I couldn't commit to that one. I wasn't sure. Wasn't happy with where I put it. Okay, I have the little treats enamel sprinkles as well from them, and these are adorable. I put in that little caramel apple and a couple of the little licorice, all sorts, little bonbon there. They're just so cute. Oh, little cupcake, yep. I love them. And more eyeballs. I decided I wanted some more. So I moved that one up to, yep, there. He's going to stay there. And then where does he? Yeah, I just, I don't know why I moved that one. There we go, another one up next to the cupcake. Excuse me. And there we go. I'm ruffling up this a little bit more. And I'm going to pop in my journaling with my Pigma Micron. I don't have the layout in front of me, but it just says about what he was dressed up as and where we were trick-or-treating. Our local mall does. They decorate really amazingly, and you go around to the separate vendors and they all hand out candy, so it's nice and safe and not too scary for the little ones. So okay, I had a bit of an awkward place here, a little bit of an awkward spot, so I'm just using some, my Pigma Micron again and doing some calligraphy just to spell out our costume cutie. Another little spider, and that is it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to check out the shop. I'll leave the link in the description box along with a link to the Stick Down Sketches Challenge blog, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.